totally forgot.
Hey, what's up, Hope Shot fam? Welcome back to Sunday Night Live. Tonight, man, we're going to be talking about our experience, strength, and hope on some topics. James always comes with some good topics, and what better way to talk about the day than talk about my day was off today because of daylight savings time. You wake up, it's 10 o'clock, you're like, oh my gosh, dude. I slept till 10 o'clock. So tonight, James is going to bring the topic. I'll let him talk about it in a second. But first, Caesar is going to say the clarity statement real quick.
Caesar. Hello, everybody. This is the Hope Shot clarity statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common. Recovery is a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. Thank you for being a part of our Hope Shot family.
Thank you, Caesar. Oh, yeah. My bad. Not James anymore. It's Tom Brady is back. Okay. That's what I'm going to call you for the rest of the night. Okay, James? Hey, guys, if you're just jumping on, say what's up. Let us know you're here. Also, if you guys can share this live feed, you never know who might help tonight and who might need to hear it. James, go ahead and tell everybody what the topic is for tonight.
So I was sitting here thinking this morning when it was about, was springing up and the clock's going forward. And I was thinking to myself, and what brought me to recovery, right? Like what was it that sprung me into a different way of life? And what's up, Scott? And so as I thought about that, man, I got to think about the beginning. And there's really two beginnings for me. You know, there's the beginning where, like, out there using, for a long time, I always blamed it on a substance, right? Like, if I could just get away from this, I would be better. If we could just stop doing this, we'll be better. If I could just get away from this drug, I know I've got this, right? And through development research, I found out that, like, it wasn't the substance. It wasn't, because when you start running out of the dope to blame as an excuse, and there's a pattern there, like, it didn't matter if I did the stuff that kept me up, if I drank the liquid courage, or if, like, I was doing the pills, right? And it was really right around the time after the pills that, like, I remember thinking to myself, like, the pills made me dope sick, and I feel like crap, and like, when the dope sickness was gone, what was really my excuse? Because it didn't matter if it was the devil's lettuce or whatever. You like that, Caesar? Like, because, like, I can remember rolling up whole boxes of 50, you know what I mean, to get me through the day. And, like, it didn't matter what I did. I went 0 to 100 in everything I do, and on my last run with a substance that kept me up for weeks at a time, like, I could remember going through my phone and, like, trying to borrow money from people, and like, not wanting to stop it, and thinking to myself, like, laying on my bed, I would lay down for a minute, like, just go to bed, James. And then I would pop right back up 10, 15 seconds later. Like, no, let me just work this angle, right? And, like, I knew then that, like, I got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the substance, because this is what it is every single time I use. When we were hanging out using and drinking a lot, we went to a bar every single night, right? Like, we had a routine down. And like, the chaos always arised. And I remember being on probation and failing for a dirty urine again. And like, you do that, send it off to the lab. Just send it off to the lab, right? Like, and like, dude, you're dirty. You're just trying to buy 2 weeks. And during that 2 weeks.
That's the only way you get to walk out the door.
Right. That part. True story. And like, I remember like the next 2 weeks, like I just kept telling myself, oh, as soon as they catch me, I'll stop. I'll stop. Just not yet. Just not now. And I remember going in the back of that cop car, man. And, it was the first time in my life that I got arrested. And it wasn't like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, there was this sense of freedom. In the back of a cop car with handcuffs on me behind my back, there was freedom. Like, I don't know if y'all can relate to that, but like I was like, man, it's finally over. And I can remember being in jail and like the conversations, like people would brag about what they did and how much they had or what the feds took from them or whatever, right? And like, I couldn't relate. Like, I knew in jail, like, I wasn't that dude. Like, I had a freaking problem. You know what I'm saying? Because I had tried the rooms before, and it just wasn't me. I can remember leaving a meeting one time. Swear to God, we had to walk. We were homeless, right? Because that's where it takes us. So we walked to the meeting, and these people are talking about their feelings and shit. And I remember leaving, and I'm looking at my wife on the way back. I'm like, I don't know about them people. Like, I just like getting high. I'm just really good at getting high. I don't know what these people are talking about their feelings, right? And so I remember sitting in jail and thinking, like, something's got to give. I got to do something because I don't belong here. Like, I'm God's child, man. God don't want me here. I don't know what God wants from me in my life all the time, like, but I know I ain't supposed to be behind a jail cell. Like, I know what it's like to be a good dad today and a good husband, man. And like, I just was ready for something different, and listen, I'm just going to keep it real, man. I'm not prison type. I know exactly what I would do for a honey bun. And it ain't pretty. It ain't. I'm going to call it out, see it, bro. I like food. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't want to ever get a honey bun off somebody else's pillow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. I like my freedom. And like, so like, that's what brought me here. But like, what really brought me to, I like honey buns. what really brought me to recovery, man, was like, it was the first time I found out that like there was something out there that worked. That I didn't have to be a slave to dope no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, recovery for me, when I got out this time, like, it hit me square in the forehead, man. Like, there was this freedom, this probably should have said the honey bun thing. But like, there was this freedom, man. Like, there's this thing, and like, I watch people smile and be happy. And in our fellowship that we go to, we get to pick up some key tags, man. And I remember at 90 days, at the end of the meeting, they say, if you have a year or more clean, please raise your hand. It was the first time I said, why not me? Like, 90 days is a freaking miracle, man. Like, most of us don't even know how to stop for an hour. And like, to hit 90 days and see their hands go up was such a hope shot for me. Like, it was so inspirational that like, I can do this too. Why not me? And like, I sprung forward in my recovery. I got to work. I did a whole bunch of work. I went through the steps. I started working traditions and concepts, and like, I wanted to be around the winners, man. And in our fellowship, we have an area service, and like, I remember in the beginning of trying to get clean that I would just go to area service for 4 hours for no other reason that it would keep me clean, because I didn't know how to stop using. And they told me to pick the winners and sit with the winners and go to the winner circle. And I thought to myself, well, like, that's got to be where the winners are at. You know, these people aren't using. And so I just went. And I sat with winners. I talked with winners. I do exactly what we're doing here. And we talk recovery, right? Like that. I knew that when I got out of jail, I had to change what went in my mind so what came out would be different. And I just wanted to take the leap. I wanted to spring forward. I didn't want to look back no more. Like, I was sick of giving my life to the dope. You know, I wanted to see what this thing was all about and give myself a chance. So that's my experience with springing forward and what it was like for me to get here and just stay here. I just want to touch on this before I leave, or not leave, but get off. To stay here, it is so vital that I do things like this and talk to other members in recovery and different platforms of recovery, and to be open-minded and just be, you show me who you hang out with and I'll show you who you are. Well, today I'm a recovering addict in long-term recovery because I hang out with people like you. That's it.
Thanks, James. Caesar, I don't know. Is raising the roof? Is that what he's doing? Caesar, I said Caesar.
I'm just making sure you know I wasn't just raising the roof. Man, I freaking love you, James. Kelly just mentioned, I remember when you spoke at Nope, like shaking in your boots, worried about speaking, not confident in your voice. And the growth from then to now is absolutely incredible. The confidence in your message. And I just truly appreciate you. And the topic is solid. I can relate to everything that you said. It's almost like you were telling my stories. I always thought the substance was the problem. So what sprung me into action is running out of my own ideas. That's what sprung me into action. Because first it was, I can't do heroin. It just keeps getting me sick and keeps getting me arrested. And it was like, oh, well, maybe it's the Xanax. The Xanax definitely gets me arrested all the time. I shouldn't do that anymore. When you started stripping things away, and then it came down to the alcohol. Well, I owned bars. My family has owned bars. That's the family business forever. And every rehab told me, you're not the type of guy. You're not going to be able to own bars and be in recovery and be well. And I was like, well, that's BS. You know, you guys don't know me. I'll do it. No, they're right. I absolutely couldn't. If I hang out in a bar all day, I am going to drink, and then that drink will lead me to what I really want to do, which is hard drugs. You know, I might hold on for a day, a week, or a month, but I always end up right back where I started, and then in handcuffs after that. So what sprung me into action was I ran out of plans, schemes, and ideas of how I was going to do it. I was going to do it by drinking beer only. I was going to do it by like just doing the devil's lettuce. I was going to try all these things, but none of it worked. And I ran out of ideas. And a guy came in and shared a message of hope. Actually, a couple of guys at the rehab that I was in. And there was a dude that was just covered in tattoos like me. And he was cussing and stuff. And I was like, there's my sponsor. That's the guy. And I was like, well, hold on. My thinking's not that good. So then a group of young guys came in, and then this guy came in with glasses on, a tie, nice clothes, pulled up in a nice car. But he told the story that his suffering and his illness paralleled everything that I had been through and was going through, except he had it all together. He had a lightness about him. You know, he could laugh, he could joke while he's telling his story. There was nothing funny for me. It hadn't been funny for a long time. You know, I'd been miserable. And I heard that and I said, all right, that's the guy. Because that's the exact opposite of what I am. He's literally happy, joyous, and free. And he's living it. And I want that. So I picked the guy with the glasses and the tie. And this guy started walking me through the process. The substances removed, I'm still selfish, self-centered, manipulative, user, filled with fear. I'm just a child, you know, like that. All my defense mechanisms to make me look big and bad and all of this, it's all an act because I'm really uncomfortable in my own skin and I'm not really sure who I am. And that's where the work came in. Digging deep into the past, figuring out these resentments, these fears, and all these things that were inside of me that made me operate the way I operate. I operate on fear. Fear I'm not going to get something that I want, so I steal it. Fear of losing something that I have, so I lie about it. You know, like, hey, no, don't, you know, just all these things. And we work through them. We get them all out into the light. And all these deep, dark, horrible secrets that I have. And, you know, prison, death, none of that was really a deterrent for me. That was the norm. I went to county jail so much that they made a joke that they just kept my bunk open. Like everybody knew me by name. They knew exactly who I was. All the COs knew me. And it was just the running joke. Oh, Rodriguez is back. Hey, your bunk's probably still warm. You know, I couldn't get it. But when I worked on the inside instead of the outside, I got it because I got that taste of being my authentic self, doing some things, being of service, learning what it feels like to get good self-esteem by doing esteemable acts. And all these things keep me moving further and further in the right direction because I feel good about myself. I can lay my head down on the pillow at night and not race in my mind about the crap and the lies and the stuff that I did that day. And that's what keeps me driving forward. But for me, there was no real jumping off point. It was trial and error. I had to figure out that my way does not work. And I think that's for most people. You know, I can't speak for everybody, but I had to try everything my way first before I was willing to try somebody else's way. Because I really didn't believe that y'all knew anything more than I knew, that anybody in the fellowship. I started coming around when I was like 17 and I thought it was a joke because I was court ordered. I'm like, you got to be kidding me with these people. Like, I don't want anything you guys have. And then you fast forward and I come back in and I'm a raging heroin addict, you know, shaking. And now it's the opposite. I'm too far gone. You guys can't save me. But I never gave it a chance. It's contempt prior to investigation. It's not going to work for me, so I'm not even going to try it. But when I ran out of plans and ideas, that was the only thing left, was a guy being of service saying, hey, I can help you. You know, and I reached out and I took his hand and I ran with it. And I'm in a fortunate position today because I can be that hand today. You know, the longer that we stay in recovery, the better we look, and surprisingly, the more unrelatable we are to the newcomer. That's why we have to share our story. If they just look at the outside, you know, you got people on here own their own businesses, they're doing well in life, getting college degrees, all of these things. We have to open our mouths and say where we came from so somebody can go, oh, damn, you know, that's the honey bun guy. You know, I can relate to that. You know, you can't catch fish without good bait, James. You got to do the chocolate covered honey bun and a Mountain Dew on the bed, and I'll get you every time. But, you know, we're lighthearted, but this is dead serious stuff because not everybody's got to go to the links that we went to grab onto this thing, you know, and we try to share the message out here and let people know that, hey, this is where we've been. This is what it took to get us here. And you don't have to do that. believe us right now when we say this is better than that. And you can do it, because we are a bunch of bozos. I'll leave the women out of this. The people that are on here right now are a bunch of bozos, and we all figured it out. How? Somebody walked us through it like toddlers. Yes, you too, Nate. We're all a bunch of bozos, but we are uniquely fit to help somebody suffering from the same crap that we're suffering with. So that's all I got. I appreciate you, James. Thank you for the topic. And Tom Brady's back.
Thanks, Caesar, man. Dude, my Wi-Fi, man, is like doing some weird stuff. And I'm tired of it, bro. Hey guys, if you're just jumping on, if you guys would share this live feed, we would really appreciate the support, man. It takes 2 seconds just to have that share button, and hopefully I'm not lagging.
I'm not here to brag or anything. I'm just saying my Wi-Fi on point, baby. You know what I'm saying? I did a couple things. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about.
You're not lagging. You look perfect. I'm watching it on here and on the live. You're good.
Okay, good. So we're talking about springing forward into recovery. I'll share a little bit real quick, and it's funny because like James is saying, I thought if I would change the substance, like that was my problem. Like I thought if I stopped, because listen, in 2011 is when I stopped doing the homeless stuff. You know what I mean? I stopped being a junkie, stopped being homeless, doing all the things that like, would make me that way, that where I'd give everything away, and I gained some things, but I went right into drinking and partying, going out to bars. And that was, I'm telling you, more manageability than being a junkie. Because like, man, I got stabbed 9 times. I got into all kinds of fights, doing some crazy stuff, DUIs, you name it. It was just insane. And, throughout that time I was building a life, but I was throwing it away in the same process. Even with alcohol, I haven't used a needle or smoked dope, man, since 2011. But that whole time I was a mess. And I thought it was just, normalcy, I was like, well, at least I'm not being a junkie. So I kind of like, I would make excuses for what I was doing. And the whole time, man, I was literally throwing my life away.
Okay, well, that just happened. Welcome back to the show.
I'm surprised we're all still on, since it all streams from him.
Right, that's what he did. Oh, so we need to make sure. Are we actually still live?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see it on here buffering. His little window's buffering.
Need to go.
We're good. So, all right, you guys want to go on to the next one real quick and let him come on back?
Who's got a fire in their belly?
Oh, wait.
He's back.
Yes, he's back. We weren't going to move on without you. We just all said we were going to wait no matter how long it took.
Bro, I'm telling you, my Wi-Fi is messed up, bro. my Wi-Fi is messing up. So, yeah.
You go ahead, finish what you were saying. You're on a roll.
I don't know if it's going to do it again. I don't know what's going on. I need to call Spectrum to get their shit together, because this has never happened, and it drives me up the wall. It gives me anxiety. Anyways, can you see me and hear me okay? Okay, good. All right, so where was I? Anyways, all right, I think I know where I was. So the whole time, man, I was drinking, I was freaking, just going crazy, and then I broke my leg, went right back into some freaking pain pills, man, quick. And the whole time I would try to get into recovery, and it never worked. My wife telling me she's gonna leave me multiple times never worked. Like there's so many times we had that come to Jesus moment where it's like, yo, I'm done with this shit. I can't do this anymore. And then I'd freaking sit there and cry and be like, okay, I'm going to the meetings, and I go to meetings, and then like, I try to do good, but I just couldn't do good. And then next thing you know, I'm back to right where I was. And dude, I'm telling you, it happened over and over and over and over. I don't know why it took somebody calling the state on me, like calling the state and getting me messed up with my business in order for it to change. But it didn't change there. It's when I passed my test for the contractor's license for the state of Florida that I was like, this is my last opportunity to actually go right. And That's when I was like, you know what, this is my last chance, and I freaking put myself in everything I could. I don't know why it took that, and it didn't take like my wife leaving me or losing my kids. I don't know why. I don't know what clicked in my brain finally, but whatever it is, like, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever it goes off of, it's like, now I'm here, and it's been shit this Wednesday, man. It'd be 4 years, and it's crazy to think about, because it's like, man, 4 years that I haven't touched nothing. It's insane to me. I'm blown away by this whole thing. Still even say that, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't put nothing in me in 4 freaking years. That's insane. It's insane to me. And it flew by, it literally flew by, and it's been so up and down, it's been a roller coaster, man, of emotions, of life, of everything, but it's all been growth. It's not like me throwing it away, getting it back, throwing it away, giving it back. It's just like, some days are good and some days aren't. It's never throwing anything away, and I just say I don't stump my growth anymore, but some days I do, though. Like, today's been one of those off days, man. I'm off today, big time, man. And like, I feel like I don't know what it is, man. I'm just so off today, from daylight savings time. I just having no motivation. I did get my food prep done, so that's a good thing. I did cook food for the week, but that's all I got. Anyways, so Nathan, you wanna go next?
Yo. All right. So, yeah, spring forward, huh? I don't know. I don't feel too off today. I just I like it when it's light longer, because then because there's 2 times in the day where it's really good for surfing, and it's usually first thing in the morning and it's like sunset, and usually the parks or spots are closed. So now, yeah. Anyway, that's my surfing fetish there that I'm flaunting. Let me stop. Yeah. So what sprung me forward into recovery? That's pretty easy answer, and it's just like, really the main thing is like pain, but pain's cousins, like desperation, shame, regret, guilt, all these things. I had multiple opportunities to get my stuff straight, man. I had 2 fucking amazing parents that unconditionally loved and supported me throughout my entire, throughout my whole entire journey of using and drinking and everything. And yeah, I was always having a chance to get it right. I could start over here. But like everybody shared, it just, who am I to like presume why or when I did, but I just know that that wasn't my time. And I do know that today that, I had to go through exactly what I hate when I hear that. Yeah, you had to go through what you had to go through to get to where you are. Whatever, like, shut up. But it's so true, because listen, a couple things happened for me, to get to where I'm at, or to start this journey of recovery. One, I needed the assistance of our fine state of Florida. I had to be taken away in handcuffs. That's the only way this one can stop. I'm not going to stop on the street of my own volition. To anybody who can, you're a rock star. Yeah, so that happened. But I mean, like I said already, like when that day that I got arrested, I had been up for like 2 weeks, and I finally had fallen asleep like the day before I got arrested, and I had to go to court, and they were like ready to pick my jury because I've been dragging this shit out for 2 years. And, I was gone. I was back to prison again. And I was just like, all right, I'm not going. I just stopped going to court. And the morning I didn't go to court, somebody had called my bail bondsman, probably somebody in my family, and said, hey, he's here, come get him, and they did. And yeah, so, but at that point, and it was just literally like in every sense of the phrase, the end of the road for me. Like I was completely broken, like so desperate, so consumed with like shame and guilt. I had, I mean, I completely lost all semblance of identity, of aspirations, of hope and faith. These things were so fantastical and foreign to me. Like I had no conception of love or trust or any of these things. Like I was completely imprisoned by my choices, by my situations, by my environment. And I got arrested at my family's house, but I was still a prisoner, man. Like I was completely lost. And it was that allowed that right there, that gift of desperation everybody talks about, that used to annoy the shit out of me, but is exactly what I needed. And I didn't really understand it until I started doing this work. And yeah, so that's what really was the catalyst. It was like that emptiness, man, that just I was nothing. I was nobody. And this is how I felt. Like I just felt so, Johnny says it all the time, I felt so pathetic, man. I couldn't stand looking in the mirror. I hated myself, like hated with a capital H. And so now I make a decision in the back of the cop car. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. And I love how James said that, man. Like I experienced some of the my first taste of freedom came in the back of that cop car. And then more so, while I was in jail, and I kept surrendering. I kept asking God for help, and stuff started changing. I started getting opportunities. I got the opportunity to go to treatment. And so yeah, that's how I got into treatment. And then when I got into a community and started working some steps and started having like a spiritual experience, which if you would have said that to me a few years back, I would have thought you were whacked. Like spiritual experience, what are you, a fanatic? But I didn't understand like that I was missing like some of the most simplest, like core things in my body, and one of them is some type of connection. You know what I mean? And I was too far gone early on to really understand like and grasp the concept of God. But what I did understand was that there was people around me, and they had a connection, and I could see something working through them. This and that and me becoming vulnerable and connecting to that gave me like they were like the liaison, the middlemen to this power, whatever it was. I know they talk about it in the book. Everybody was talking about this higher power. You find your God, And for me, the bridge that I discovered that was built with like these people and this connection, and my willingness to because I was a mess. Like my spilled, riddled with anxiety and fears. Like I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want anybody to look at me. I had fucking Johnny's clothes on my back. Like I felt like everybody was thinking, and this is our problem. I was like so selfish. I thought everybody was thinking of me or looking at me, and really, the only reason anybody was looking at me or talking to me was because they were dying to help me. And that's something I didn't understand until I got further along in this process. And my willingness to accept that help is what connected me to this power. And then as I continued to show up and I continued to do the work, and then eventually get through the steps and then share this message with somebody else, then like some really powerful stuff started happening in my life. And yeah, I experienced, and I experience today still, a freedom I thought I would never know, like true freedom. And this isn't from a relationship. It isn't from my business. It isn't from my vehicles. It's not from my jewelry or my clothes or anything. This is the freedom that lies within having a connection to something bigger than me that I can rely and trust in. have complete faith that everything is going to be okay. There is something that happens when you abandon yourself totally to this faith, where everything suddenly becomes okay. That past that haunted me for 20 plus years becomes my greatest asset. It's my purpose now. I know I had to go through that to be where I'm at today. And then, all this prison time, it preserved me. It gave me an opportunity to survive and not die out here. Like I could see things clearly, and it doesn't matter what is going on externally in my life. Like Caesar said, I've done an inside cleansing, and I continue to do it on a daily basis. So that to me, that freedom, and I tasted it like maybe like a year in, truly, like I started to feel okay with me, with who I was, what I did, where I am, and where I think I should be going. And I finally felt a part of. And for a guy like me that was utterly alone for so many years, I just was dying to be a part of something, and not only am I a part of something today, but now I discovered my true purpose. And like, that's all I ever wanted, man. I just wanted to know what I was meant to do, and why I was here. And it finally gave meaning to all this shit I went through. Like, I finally knew, okay, I had to go through that. I had you went with you. No, you'll get where you are. You know what I'm talking. Like all those cliches. Like I finally understood them. It was like I was, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again because it relates. I was God, faith, hope, love, friendship, trust, humility, all these things. They was like I was in a foreign country and it was all different languages. But when I connect to this, my people, and then I connect to this source, which my people help me, learn of, and I can figure out how to connect to that. I start to understand the language, and now I see it, and now I can see and hear like everything clearly. And to me, that's the ultimate freedom, and that's why I stick around still today, because I understand that this is just the beginning. I also understand that I'm scratching the surface of not only my potential, but like my ability to connect even more, and also because I remember how I felt, and I don't want to feel that way again, man. I will not compromise that for anything or anyone. And because it was dark, I didn't have the balls to kill myself, but I tried to, I promise you. And I just don't ever want to feel that again. And so I just continue to do what got me sober in the beginning, and I remain open to, to new ideas and stuff like that. And I continue to grow. I try to, and yeah, it's what a gift we have here. And yeah, it was the pain and the desperation that got me here, and then it was the freedom through connection and my God, that really afforded me this I was able to really be reborn in this, not in the sense like the biblical term, or you know what I mean, but like truly rebuild my life, which is, for a guy like me, is a miracle. And now I can help others do this, and I see these miracles happen on a daily basis. And yeah, so I'm here, can't get rid of me now. I'm done.
Nate, we don't want to get rid of you, bro.
I don't want to get rid of him. I know that. I personally had fun with you, bro. Hey, real quick, while I'm on here, man, so we've got a bunch of people on here, right? And I know Justin always asks us, but like, man, if you guys could go on, you guys are in the comments. It takes 2 seconds. Go from the comments to the share button real quick.
For my ratings, I posted it right when all that don't say.
There we go.
All right, Kelly.
So let's post it. Let's share it. Let's get it out there. We don't know who this is going to reach. And when you do, come back to the comments. Tell us you just shared it so we can give you a shout out. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom Brady.
Thanks, James.
Oh, real quick. Tom Brady's back. Gotta go.
I
Thanks,
think
Tom Brady's
everybody
back.
knows at this point we're from Florida.
Wait, what do they
And-
know? What do they know?
that we're from Florida.
No, that Tom Brady's back.
Okay, I'm done.
Carrie, thank you. Shout out to Carrie and Shelly for both sharing this, man. Let's keep that ball rolling. Christina, awesome. Aaron, you guys are awesome people. Let's go.
All right, live, bro. I guess Tom Brady really got you, bro. I think you're feeling it. Hey, Johnny.
Come on, Johnny.
What's up, Johnny? Last but not least,
Bring the fire.
I thought you were going to read some comments first, but okay.
my
Hey,
internet's
guys.
a little messed up, just to let you know, so I'm not doing that much.
All right. So, and you guys all shared some crazy good stuff. Man. It's, for me, it was a lot of the same, a lot of the stuff that was mentioned, man. I think the crippling guilt and, for years and years and years, I too had many opportunities from a young age to try to get a hold of this thing. And I did too come from a really amazing family that gave me many opportunities from the age of 14 on, and for me, I think that like right around 25 years old is when it really wasn't fun anymore, but it didn't end until I was 38. Me and Nathan spent a lot of time together. Me and Justin have spent some time together, and we were pathetic. We did a lot of crazy stuff together, and for myself, man, I really feel like, I think I went through the same thing too. With I thought it was this. I thought it was a substance. I just thought something was wrong with me. I thought that it was the fucking probation officer being a jerk. It was, all of those things, man, that we make up in our mind because we don't want to take a look on the inside, It took me a really, really, really long time, man. But I feel like that power, that we all have access to, the one that Nate talks about all the time, is like, I too have been to prison a few times. I've been to jail. I can't even tell you how many times. And each one of those times, I was able to gain maybe a moment of clarity, but it had been so long that I'd been doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over that I didn't think that recovery was possible for a person like me, man. The guilt, the shame, the remorse, all that stuff, it just override everything, in my story. So just a quick thing, like what kept me really screwed up for a long time was that me and my dad, we started using drugs together. And, so my parents divorced after 33 years. And so it was like once my dad had passed and I hadn't talked to my family in so long, I felt doomed, crippled to the point where like my thinking told me that, I'm going to either die in prison or I'm going to die somewhere on the street. Like that was the only hope for me. It was so crippling, and it just, it was like, it's like a TV with no channel on. Shh. That was all, I just thought like, this is it, and so it wasn't until, I had a couple of attempts. Like I moved up to Ocala in 2012. I went to treatment and I was done, man. I was done, bro. And I got introduced to recovery, and I surrounded myself with some people, and I got a taste of what it was like. I stayed clean for about a year and a half, but I worked on the outside, not the inside. I pretended to work on the inside, but I worked on the outside, and I went right back to what I know because I couldn't stand the way I felt sober. People, let me not say people. I was under the assumption that once the drugs were out of the picture and I had some clean clothes on and I had a license back in a car, that like that was sober, man. And this was it. I was doing the deal. but I wasn't doing shit. You know, I was still behaving the same. I was still trying to hang out with every girl that came in my contact. I was still trying to do grimy shit sober. And I paid dearly for it. You know, I went back out, and that on top of being painful with guilt, shame, remorse, having a taste of recovery and going back out with that was like, it was just unbelievable, you know. And there wasn't any amount of alcohol or drugs, no matter what it was, that would get that off of me. I could never stop thinking about it. You know, I couldn't shut it down, not with a shot, nothing. And so I carried on like that for a year, maybe 13 months. And there was a couple of things, man, for me. You know, one of them was the guilt, the shame, the remorse. The other one was the horrible feeling that I had that, like, I had a little bit of time and my life got good for the first time in 20 years. And I threw it all away again, like I always did. You know, but I had a couple of really defining moments, man, where, you know, I asked God, like, you know, I was once again in the same spot. At the time I was, you know, I was 38 years old, and I'm like, I will do whatever it takes to never be pathetic again. I said a prayer just out to the open because, you know, I was sober that year and a half and I had some sort of connection, man. I seen it working in my life, but I was selfish and self-centered. Once I went back out, the connection was gone, totally gone. So again, you know, and in that moment, I was just throwing a prayer out there to whatever, because my connection was gone, man. I'll do whatever it takes to never be pathetic again. And I made a decision because I had gotten back on methadone again. And I knew that was going to be, you know, we're all as addicts, man, we're petrified of the detox if you're on opiates, you know. That's why basically I tricked myself into staying that way for 15, 20 years because I was deathly afraid of the detox. And so something just clicked in my mind, man. And I knew that, like, God's not going to allow me to die. So I'm either going to stay pathetic for the rest of my life or I'm going to do something different. And I made that decision. I just, you know, I started to reach out to people again. I reached out to my sponsor and I told him, like, man, my soul is gone, dude. I'm scared. I'm scared, man. And I had made a decision, dude. And I followed it with action. Because I was familiar with what needed to be done. I have done everything in recovery that you're not supposed to do, right? So I got that out of the way real quick. And so I had to start doing the stuff that I wasn't familiar with, being honest, not being a thief, helping people with no motive, doing all this stuff that this you know, this journey teaches us, man. And thank God that power in my life, he just, like I always talk about, man, it's like a chessboard, and he strategically placed all these people in my life to where I would be able to comprehend the thing that I had shunned out for so many years, you know. And just like Nate talked about, it's funny because it's really the best way to describe recovery to somebody who's brand new. It's like another language, man. And you got to get around and start hanging around the people that are speaking that language. And slowly but surely, you start to understand it and you start to speak the language yourself, you know. I'll tell you, man, almost 7 years ago, and I was, I thought I wasn't going to be able to come back from the way I felt, you know. I felt like not only was I detoxing off the methadone, but I felt like I was on a bad acid trip forever. And like, I was scared to death, man. But I had these little things that happened in my life that allowed me to, like, it was that power. Like, you're going to be okay, man. You're going to be okay. And somebody, God rest his soul, Troy, he said to me, man, I was probably, you know, 30 days clean. I was still shaking like a leaf. I was awkward as hell around people. And he said, dude, like, I'm blown away at the fact that you still have your wits about you, as hard as you've gone for so long. And you're like, you're going to be okay if you hang around, man. And So I was like, really? You know, because I had no clue what the fuck was going on. I just didn't want to feel like that anymore. But I had people like him and many other people that are still in my life today. And you guys, man, that tell me, like, no matter what, it's going to be okay. I just don't have to. I don't have to do that anymore. You know, and the coolest thing is through this program and through the work, because that's where the change happens, you know. These things just start to happen, man, you know. And we've talked about them 100 times, man, but like, it's just, it blows me away on a daily basis that, you know, and we've talked about it, you know. I'm okay. I'm comfortable in my skin for the first time, even though it took 38 years, a little longer. Like, God, I'm okay, man. And not only that, but I'm in a position to tell somebody else and show them the way for them to be okay too. You know, all the stuff in my life, it's beautiful. It's amazing. Like, I never thought it was going to happen. I just wanted to not feel like that. All this other stuff that came with it is just unbelievable too, you know? But the fact that, like, a guy like me gets to go, like this Saturday, I woke up at 6:30 a.m. I drove an hour and 20 minutes out of town to go into a prison and talk about this stuff with guys who have no clue what this looks like. You know, we do a little 12-step workshop out there, and just to kind of get them familiar with how this thing works. You know, and if they're not interested in that, cool, we can offer them whatever. There's a couple of guys that we're getting set up. You know, it's amazing that God has strategically placed me. I found purpose in recovery, and I've taken the stuff that I thought was going to condemn me for the rest of my life, and I get to use that on a daily basis to help other people, man. And it's the most beautiful and amazing thing I've ever experienced in my life. And it's the cool thing is, man, I couldn't understand it early on, but like, it's just the beginning of it, man. Yeah, I'll have 7 years in a couple months. Like, it's just the beginning. I'm just learning how to, like Caesar says, I'm still an awkward, weird adult because I'm not an adult. Like, I'm just learning how to do this stuff. I'm learning how to be a husband, how to be a friend, how to show up, how to, you know, be a good employee, be a good friend, all these things, man. And I've done that for the last few years, and I don't want to stop doing it because I'm scared to death. I already know, I have thoroughly proved to myself that, like, I posted it yesterday. There's a line in my 12-step, and it's, I have lost the right to chemical peace of mind, right? And that's it. There was certain little things that rang my bell. That was one of them early on. That was a message personally from this power to me, and I heard it loud and clear, you know. And then I just had to and have to continue to do the things that I do on a daily basis to do this, and it gets easier and easier.
Can you say that again? I really like that. Can you say it again?
I have lost the right to chemical peace of mind. Yeah. It's in the story in our book in the back, one of the personal stories. But that early on, you know, that was one of the things that I was like, wow, that's me, you know. And I would never have been able to admit that because, you know, in active addiction, I was self-diagnosed. I had severe anxiety disorder. I was this and I was that, and I was going to need meds for the rest of my life. And my C6 is busted and my L and my Q7. So I'm going to need to be pain pills for the rest of my life. And, you know, all this shit we tell ourselves, you know. And today I don't have to tell myself that crap, man. I get to be a part of this stuff, dude. And it's far beyond anything I ever asked for, you know. So that's my piece, bro. I love you guys.
Thanks, Johnny, dude. Yeah, that was good, man. Lost the right to that. And it's say it one more time, man. Say it one more time.
Well, I say I have lost the right to chemical peace of mind. The way it's said in the book is just a little different, but same idea.
No, I like it. And if it's different than what you say it like, then I'd rather keep it the way you say it. Yeah. I've lost my right to a chemical peace of mind, and that's super true. Yeah, I like that. Does anybody want to share anything else while we close out? No? Good. Tom Brady is back? Nothing?
I was going to say, I mean, is it about Tom Brady or about recovery?
Oh, God.
I mean, listen, if we're having a free forum, I've got a whole lot to say. No? Oh, okay.
Hey, just what I will say is that it's an honor to be on here with everybody. I was looking at some of the comments, and Shelly was commenting about hearing some of our stories. I mean, you've got people on here that have been some very dark places that society and ourselves counted out. And we get to be the people that are the inspiration for somebody that's on the fence about this thing. We get to be the ones that say, you can do this. And I never thought that was something that it was an opportunity that I would have. I looked at those people as like, that was unattainable. You know, they were like levitating to me. Like, look at these recovered people that like share this message. Steve, that kind of negativity is not going to be allowed on the Hope Shot. We're about hope, not negativity. But, you know, those guys that gave me hope early on, it seemed unattainable. And here we are spreading it today, you know, and I couldn't have predicted it, thought it, anything. And I'm just grateful to be here with you guys at this time in this place every Sunday night and to be able to give this back. So thank you all.
Thank you, Caesar. We're always glad you show up every Sunday. You make it interesting. Nathan.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, what Caesar was just talking about, how it's funny how I come into this deal. I'm just like selfish to the core, man. I just want fix me. It's all about me. And the longer I stick around, it becomes all about everybody else, which ultimately saves me. So it's like the evolution of this deal is such a beautiful thing to not only experience, but to watch happen in others. Because, you know, I'm not thinking about when I first get here, service or helping somebody. Like I'm dying inside, man. Fix me first, you know? And it's funny what happens through this process that I'm able to shift that focus completely. And just now my main objective is how can I help others? And it's a cool deal to experience, man, to have that selfishness and that complete perspective shift, man. What a beautiful deal.
Hey, congratulations, Aaron, on 90 days. That's awesome. Congratulations.
That's huge.
Hey, real quick,
So,
I just want to say that, like, sorry, buddy, do you want to go? Okay, so I just want to say that, like, I'm really grateful. Like, we talk about what sprung us into recovery. Like, I want to end on this real quick, that, like, I'm really grateful that I didn't get what I have right now in the beginning of recovery, because I never would have made it. What recovery has done for my life and trusting the process to get me to where I am right now, I could have never handled my life that I have now early in recovery, man. Like, this process of recovery is a beautiful thing, man. And it just proves that I got a loving and caring God, that he didn't fix my life all at once. He allowed me this process of recovery to get to where I'm at, so I know exactly how to handle where I'm at today, because it would have been a shit show in the beginning. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely a shit show in the beginning. It was everything happens the way it's supposed to be, evolving in recovery, man. So this is it for tonight, guys. Thank you for being here. Sorry, I'm a little off tonight because my Wi-Fi is, and I hear and I'm just like, oh gosh. But yo, I'm telling you, man, I'm calling Spectrum tomorrow. I'm done. Spent all this money on Wi-Fi, and it's just like, man, what do they do with it? But hey, thank you guys for being here. Hey, this Wednesday, man, it's my celebration. It's my 4 years, and we're gonna come on here, and we're gonna. I want you guys to come on here with us, with me. And let's do a little roast. Let's have fun. Let's celebrate. I'll say a little bit of my story, and then we could just like talk, man, and just have fun with it, you know. But it lands right on the 16th, so I was like, you know what, might as well just have fun with it and share a little bit. So this Wednesday, that's what's going to go down. So 8 p.m. right here live on the Hope Shot, and thank you guys for being here. We love y'all.
Bro, you can't handle the truth, bro. You ain't ready for that. I can't wait to watch this roast.
Wait, what? Are you gonna come on here, James? That's what I want to know.
I'm gonna have to sneak it in somehow. I know my home groups are on Wednesday night, so I'm gonna try and figure this thing out because you're
Gotta
important.
get in on this.
Love
bro.
you.
Get in on it, bro. All right, guys.
All right.
Love y'all. Good night.